So before, of course, now as their paperwork is being sorted, passports, visas and all that, there's a bonding session that now happened in Nairobi. And that bonding session, very important. One of the very, very important things, and I remember John is the one who said this. I didn't think about it much then, but I appreciate him for thinking that far ahead at that point, because to me, I think this is one of the challenges with TPF. Working with producers from Kenya. Now that 1 or 2 weeks before they went to South Africa, they worked with John, they worked with Msioka, they worked with Clemo, they worked with RK. They had sessions, writing sessions. Chris Adwar was even there. Writing sessions, producing, as in, by the time they were leaving for SA, John left with raw files. So,
but was this the plan, or was this just John's idea?
This was John's idea.
Hold on.
Yes.
No way.
Because the plan had been that just bond, and then you go and record there.
With some Jungus. With not even Jungus, my bad, with South Africans.
Yes. But John was like, we need the Kenyan touch, the Kenyan feel.
No way.
Yes.
Hold on. I'm understanding something that I've never known. Hey, Fakii, you're a gem. Thank you so much for coming here. So the plan was this. Kenya, you're just here to get the group. We're just getting the group from Kenya. But the sound and everything else is going to be done in South Africa. It was John's initiative, John Raba's initiative.
Yes.
John Raba, our conversation still goes on. The seat is also waiting for you. But it was his initiative to decide to start working with all these different people.
Yes.
That is mind-blowing.
And then, the beauty of this whole thing was, as soon as he told Mike saw it. So it was an easy decision of, let's do it in the studio. See, we still have time because we have to get their passports and visas sorted. Let's do it here. So they even went ahead now and even that foresight of, don't be greedy, don't just make it about HomeBoyz. Get other people involved. You see, that's where there was an exchange program where
with Nonini, with Nonini and Sema.
Yes.
So we recorded the Sema album back here. So we battered a few tracks with Clemo, and one of the tracks that we battered with was Keroro. So Clemo did songs for Sema as we did songs for Caliph. So the Caliph artist I was given to work with was Nonini. And the first song I did with Nonini was Keroro.
That time tumerecord vile tafanya nini ndio Sema recording with the HomeBoyz. So HomeBoyz had an arrangement with Clemo. Ikakuwa give us one artist from Caliph, akam HomeBoyz record ngoma moja na sisi, then we give you Sema. So Sema wakakam Caliph. Sema alirecord ngoma kali manze.
Walirecord ngoma mob
unifae na no Clemo alitengeza beat.
Beat ya Clemo. Beat ya Clemo. Yanikatia sauti yake yanipandisia apote hapo na baki nikilia. Yeye nimpendaye, nimtakaye, anifaye, yeye pekee, chochote atakachopenda nitatenda, kokote ataenda.
Lakini at the same time,
but even Sema wali record hata inge ni poa.
Ni poa pia,
Ni poa sana.
kali sana.
Yeah.
Clemo, 2004. Sema, Caliph Trending Gang. Toka nikujue na kuamini na kuheshimu na kudhamini, sijawahi kukusaliti, kukuhadhiri, kukudhiki. Maisha yangu nilikumwagia, shida zangu nikakwambia, mapenzi yangu nikakwachia, nikapatia, njoo nami.
That's how Nonini came and started working with Musyoka, and Sema went to do.
And that's how also Clemo did a track on the Sema album.
Yep. In fact, Clemo did some 2 good tracks.
Yeah. Now, when
In fact, I've done a CTA with, and probably for this interjection, but this one, I've done a CTA with Tim Rimbui, and Tim Rimbui was also called. He was also called by CK, who worked at the time at HomeBoyz.
yes,
He was called by CK to come and contribute
Yes.
for the Sema project.
yes,
I've done a CTA with Shinde, and Shinde says this song was written by what was Shinde?
Angie, yeah,
The song,
Yes.
the song that Sema sang was
Yes.
written by her.
Yeah.
So that means HomeBoyz was looking beyond
yes,
just the producers they had.
At this time, she's also been not really commissioned, but she also not really commissioned. What is the word I'm looking for? She was also not auditioning, but she was also trying to write a song for Coca-Cola Popstars. This is now just before Coca-Cola Popstars come out. So while she's writing Higher for us, she ended up writing Leta Wimbo at the same time.
You're joking.
Yeah. So even like now when the two songs were there,
to write.
not really commissioned.
Or asked
like,
to submit a song.
I think she sort of like said she could write a song. This is like now when HomeBoyz were running it and DJ John was, I think, running that whole project. So yeah, she was like, okay, I'm gonna write a song. So while we're thinking of a second song for Tattoo, she has Leta Wimbo on one side and she has Higher for Us. If I'm going to be completely honest, and this might even get me in trouble, I really liked Leta Wimbo. I really liked that song. So I even, like when we were now recording it for like Kina John to hear how the song goes,
You're joking.
and the vocals that were used before now Kina Pam took over. Oh, how'd that song go? Leta Wimbo, bring the music on. It was done differently. I sang it differently. But of course, by the time Kina Pam and Sana and Kev were done with it, it was like magic. But at the time when we were recording it, we had these two songs to choose from. So I think between Leta Wimbo and Higher, Angie really took a liking to Haya, I think, and Leta Wimbo sounded more. It worked better for Coca-Cola pop stars. Of course, as you can see, the end result. But me, I was like, hey, this song is the one that should be our second song, don't you think? But Angie was like, no, let's do Haya. Haya is nice. It's about nothing and something. It's about opposites. It's about this and that. So.
And by the way, thanks for mentioning CK. You know, even her handle, I think, on one of the social media
Can I shock you?
platforms.
CK just tried to call me right now.
Oh.
Because I got my phone on.
Her handle is truly CK. That chick is amazing. We actually ran Popstars with her. Actually, CK, I think, joined HomeBoyz to do Popstars. She came in to be a HomeBoyz producer for Popstars, like a TV show producer for Popstars. So all those runs, different places, we were also doing with CK. I don't know why I'd forgotten that.
Yo.
And up to today, we still talk. She was in the country, I think, last year at some point.
Siki has just tried to call me. Siki ako huku Kenya right now.
Yeah. And she's been doing some amazing things in South Africa.
Yep, yes. But this has that is just mind-blowing. That the plan was not to do the recordings here in Kenya.
Yeah.
The audio was to 100% be done from South Africa.
I think even if we had time, and if we were a bit more advanced, we'd have started doing the videos in Kenya. Now, the day when the three of them met was chaos, because remember, these are days of Mathrees. HomeBoyz had an office, Baricho Road, plus studios and everything. Now, would tell Pam, Sana, and Kev, you have to arrive at a certain time. Then when you get off the Mathri, you call me. I come for you at the bus stop. Pale Bunyala Road, ndio tutembe to Baricho Road. So, each one of them got there. I went, picked them up, walked with them to the HomeBoyz office. HomeBoyz office is on what floor? Second floor.
Yeah.
So we get to Amber House, ground floor. I tell them, I have to
Blindfold you.
I have to blindfold you. Blindfold, walk up the stairs. Walk up the stairs, get into the office, all the way to the studio, sit you down, blindfolded, tell you, shh, wait for the others. I do
And this is being filmed.
Yes, this is being filmed. I go pick the second person, we go. I go pick the third person, we go. John, and I can't remember who else, now start giving them a talk. So here are three contestants, blindfolded. They're being told about when your blindfolds are removed, you will meet your who else
Your
is
new
in the group.
bandmates.
Yeah. Now you're being given rules about the group, about how you'll behave, what the plan is for the week, when you'll go to South Africa, how your papers are being processed, nini, all that. But you're blindfolded. So after all that is when now you're told, okay, now you can remove the blindfold. No, I think they were asked, like, since you knew the last six, who do you think? So now, you start guessing. And I think there was room to even take it further, but Coca-Cola is that brand that doesn't do those things of chomaing, because you'd have asked, like,
Who don't you think should definitely
who
go?
would you not like to have been in the group, So the blindfolds were removed, the group met, they were so happy with each other. They were all young, they were so excited, happy with each other. Then they were happy every day. Now they used to come to the studio, a different experience, meeting this and this producer, this and this songwriter, just being taught the whole thing. Even that process of being taught songwriting, even by Chris Adwar.
It's insane.
It's insane.
There was somebody who was working with them. She was called Caroline Kyoko, and she's a film producer in SA. She's a big deal now. So CK got an internship with HomeBoyz. And when they were writing songs for Sema, she tells John Rabah, hey, there's a guy called Chris who I think can write songs for Sema. So she convinces him, and then she calls me and tells me, Chris, can you make it to HomeBoyz tomorrow at 8 in the morning? I said, yeah, okay. Yeah, I can. To do what? Saying, yeah, there's some songwriting project. So I get into HomeBoyz, and I see John Rabah, and I'm like, this guy was my senior in high school. He was like maybe 2 years ahead of me. I was like, so kumbe, this is the great John Rabah here about. I'm like, he gig knew pata. He didn't know me, guy. So I introduced myself. I said that. Then he asked me, so you're from Next Level? I said, yeah. He said, okay. So what do your songs go like? So so he asked me to write some songs and then bring them. So see, I went home. I did a quick track, chop. And then I took it to the studio the next day. So he listens to it barely a minute even. And says, okay, you guys record this song. And he left for the day. He left us in the studio. So I'm like, hey, where do I even start? So I started fiddling around with things. And then there were a few interns who were sort of working in the studio, but their job was to show us where which cable goes, the patch for us cables and things like that. One of them was called Eric Musioka. Yes. So Musioka is here patching for me cables, bringing for me sijui which keyboard. I'm asking for sijui what module. Musioka brings it. I'm like, these young boys of this place, a bullies look. So Musioka used to sit in the studio. So something very funny happened. I recorded Sema, and we recorded the song, and it was beautiful. It sounded really, really good. By the evening, I called John Rabah from the studio because credit was expensive. But there was a phone in the studio, so he had said, you call me at home when you're done. You tell me, come and listen to the track. So I called. Goes to the switchboard. They connect me to his house. I say, hey, the track is ready. He says, I'll come and listen to it in the morning. Yeah. So I go back in the morning, and John is asking me, where's the track? I'm like, see, it was here. See, we opened the track. So on Pro Tools, there was a thing. Pro Tools is a program we used to use. So when you record music, there are waves that are drawn, and that shows you that there's audio, that there's material inside the wave. It's a waveform that has been drawn. So now you can hear it, you see. But Pro Tools used to do a stupid thing where when it can't find the files, it just shows you a blue tick. So it's like a blue line like this. So I'm like, the session has opened. I can see just blue lines. I wanted to cry. And now Kim Nado came here. You know Kim Nado? Kiwaru, proper. I was upset. So I asked, so what happened here? Because you can see that the recording had been done, and it's missing. So a rumor started in the studio. And it's not me who started it, by the way. It's not me. I just used to hear it. Musioka deleted the files. Aki, how can they say that? Up to now, I'm upset, by the way. How can they say that about Musioka? Anyway, what happened was probably I had disk failed or something like that. But it was all blamed on Musioka because I was very important now at this point because, hey, I'm a big deal. I've come to write songs. I produced the song, and the song was deadly. So I had to start the recording again. So we recorded. Brilliant. Finished it. John Rabah came and listened to it the next day. It's like, hey, what kind of music is this? Strange music. He didn't quite understand it. And I think like the following day, a few days later, Sema had a performance, now a presentation at Intercontinental for the Coca-Cola staff executives. So they go and perform songs, and they perform songs by different producers, and then they sing my song, and the whole place comes alive. Now me, I wasn't there. So now these are things that now I was being told later. So the very next day, John Rabah called me and says, Chris, can you come to the studio? Come, Haraka. So Harakisha, I go there. He tells me, hey, now, these guys went and did a performance yesterday, and then guess which song they liked the most? I think, which song? Saying, your song. I was like, oh, okay. Interesting. But obviously, I knew my songs were good. No, I'm kidding. It was the first one, so I didn't really know. So it was the first time. So it tells me, this song, I think, is what we're going to call this album. I said, oh, so the album title is going to be the name of my song. I said, yes, affirmative. I said, am I going to get any more money? He says, no, negative. So over there, I'm like, okay, Sawa. So let me play you a little bit of what that song goes like. So because this is not my song, I'm just going to put the lyrics here just in case I forget a line. Jua yanga kwangu, kivuli chafunika, kivuli chanipita tena. Nimewafunika vifaranga, kinga vifaranga wangu. Adui namuona, hajui namuona, adui namuona, hajui kuwa namwona mwewe.
You know, the process of now being told, okay, while all your work will be, it's like the creative producer, the overall producer is John Rabah. So he's your EP.
Yep. Executive producer.
But then you have all these other guys who you'll be working with together with John. So just getting the experience of different people.
And these guys have never been in studio. These guys have never been in studio.
Then, no, I think Kev had been. Because remember, Kev was in Pentamony.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So, then I think there was even the experience of, there's a day I think we even took them for shopping or something.
And has this now been announced to TV?
No.
Okay.
No. Because the audition, whatevers, are still in edit. Because at that point, you know, the team from South Africa, they go with the tapes.
What?
They go edit in SA. Then you wait for the tape to come. I used to go pick it up from DHL. Pick it up from DHL, sneak it into HomeBoyz office.
You guys watch?
Make a quick copy, take it to Cook, you know.
Yeah.
So that by the time Cook are watching, we have notes,
Yes.
you know. Yeah. So, there was a time I think we even took them for some shopping kidogo. Because also we had to create some bonding sessions. So I think the last day, the last night before their flight, they even spent at Stanley, I think. Now, another reason why I respect John and Mike, apart from that foresight that we talked about of recording here,
which is a game changer for me,
foresight that especially Mike had, and we included in the proposal, which I think lacks in quite a number of talent search shows that are done in Kenya or East Africa or Africa. Part of your plan when you're doing the talent search is, because remember, this is showbiz. Part of your plan has to be, when you select this group, how do you build this group and make them big?
For sure.
So part of our budget had a sustenance budget for them. So I think for either 6 months or a whole 1 year after they were selected, or rather after they came back from South Africa, they were on an allowance.
No way.
Yes, monthly allowance.
That is so good, because you've just grabbed a guy out of his hustling mode. Not even hustling, it's a student. They have no money, they have no income. So now you at least been able, and now you've made them a superstar. at least you're preventing them entering maths and
Yes.
nothing, you know what I mean? You're building, you're helping them transition.
So there was an allowance for them.
That's so cool.
The other thing, and I think that's one of the things that made us win the pitch, was because as HomeBoyz at that time, we used to do so many gigs. So clients call, they want DJs, we say we are throwing in Sema. We don't really worry about the money because they already have an allowance. For us, it's to build them,
Yeah.
to give them confidence on stage. So now to the outside, Sema were performing everywhere.
But they were really not.
But the beauty about this was, within I think a month or two, calls for them started coming.
So were Sema signed and the HomeBoyz then?
Sema,
Or were they
now-
signed, or was the show was signed?
The show was signed.
So Sema was just,
Yes.
okay.
So there's that obligation I had. Now, the thing about that, as soon as they left for SA, I remember I was in town. See, I'm at the Stanley. I see them off. They get onto a vehicle that now takes them to, I think that time it was an agency that had been a travel agency of Coca-Cola that now picked them from Stanley to take them to the airport. And then they were going to meet with John, and I can't remember if it was RK or who else who went with them.
It was Msioka.
Msioka.
Yeah.
So
But he says it in the city.
so they went, so the three of them, so me I ensured they got onto the transport. So I cleared them from the hotel, got them onto the transport. So I handed them over to the travel agency now to get them to JKIA. Then they were going to meet with John and Msioka and now go to SA. When I left
Stanley.
I went back to the office and resigned.
What?
Yes.
Dude, what is that? Can I ask why? If I'm allowed to.
Let's just say